Doremi, I gotta watch Doremi. Here, that's good.
Character design.
Honey, I'm cutting you off. You get one more.
Gundam Thunderbolt, gotta watch that.
Very good things.
Honey.
Mospedia,
Honey.
gotta watch that.
Honey.
Dragonar.
Honey!
What? What?
Round it out, please. I quit.
Okay, cool.
Someone else can host. I'm done.
Can we take the wheel?
Dom needs to take the wheel because Dom made Cassie be done.
No, they can't. They can't take the
Why
wheel.
can't-
They've had the wheel for too long right now.
Dom's the one that crashed it.
きっと約束だよいつかまた同じ笑顔で
Hello, and welcome to episode 119 of the Annie Chat Box, where 5 friends snuggle up in a teeny tiny space to talk about all things anime. I'm your host today, Cassie. I haven't done this in a while, so please bear with me. I'm going and flying by the seat of my pants, but luckily I have company to help me with this endeavor. The first being somebody who didn't even want to be here today. Dominic, how you doing?
I was literally dragged here.
You could have said no.
I tried.
Free will is a sham.
I tried and failed spectacularly.
We here at Annie Chatbox represent a dictatorship, not a democracy. Anyway.
Apparently, Cass is a dictator.
I mean, that's
Oh my God.
accurate.
We
That's
established
an accurate...
this last week. I'm a Tom.
Dictator is an accurate descriptor. Just instead of violence and tyranny, she uses guilt.
Yeah.
Ooh. Good tactic.
In the next room over, we got Craig.
What's up?
We don't have her in the same room this week, but I sure wish we did. Back in Maryland, we have the lovely Cammie.
Aw, I wish I was back next to you two. Who else is gonna look and laugh at my stupid faces that I make while we record?
We can all just picture them as we go along, because we all make the funny faces. It's just true.
It is.
Possibly sporting a funny face right now. It's his remain to be seen. Then we have Jonathan Joestar.
Hello. I do have a dumb grin on my face just listening to everything going on.
I can hear
Well,
that
good.
grin from right here.
It means somebody's glad to be here, and that's good. At least we've got 1 out of the 5. I'm not sure about everybody else. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there's 5 here. I can math. I want to be an elementary school teacher, guys. Anyway, moving on. Today we're going to be talking about our anime shame list, which is actually a pretty cool transition from math, because that is on my shame list. I cannot ever get to math and understanding it, and probably never will. But we wanted to talk today about anime that are on our specific shame list instead of tasks that may be. An anime that maybe we hope to get to at some point in the near future, or we know we really should watch it but haven't. And I guess when you talk about your specific animes, you can say whether you intend to check them out or not. But I think most of us are intending to check out the stuff on our shame list. We just haven't yet. That's why it's a shame. So we didn't come up with a real round-robin order for this because I am an unprepared host. So I'm just going to say somebody's name, and they can say their first one, and then we'll go on to the next person. They can say their first, and we'll just keep going around in a circle until everybody says at least 3.
It's a game!
It's a game of chance. Craig, what's your first one?
Hi. My first one is Mobile Fighter G Gundam, because everyone says that I would like that show. Namely, Zack and Dom. I only caught a few episodes way back when on not Adult Swim, but Toonami, and I thought it was cool, but I was too busy wanting to watch Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball and Kenshin, and I randomly watched like one-off episodes. I remember, you need to calm down. You're too hyper, and Burning Finger. God Gundam and Demon Gundam, and it everything from what I've been told is my style and my jam, and I will get to it very soon, considering I have completed all of the Precure franchise and its entirety. So, hey, there's that.
So, G Gundam, right?
Yeah, Mobile Fighter G Gundam.
The
one with the horse.
in
The one with the
spandex.
horse. Yeah.
Yes. Horse Gundam.
Well, we all gotta watch eventually.
That's-
I mean, that
yeah.
one should be on all of our shameless. Let's be real. Unless your name is John or Dominic.
Yes.
It's a good start, Craig.
Yeah.
Moving on, Cammy, what's your number one?
Oh, this was the first one that popped into my head immediately. Cowboy Bebop. Just because
Yeah, good
Yeah,
choice. I
it's-
had that too.
it's so I'm sorry.
That's
No, you're
okay.
good.
This is why I brought extras.
Right? Yeah.
It
prepping.
literally was the first thing on my list. That's
Yeah.
why I'm just like, really? Really? But
Because
yeah, go ahead.
that's the thing, is that it's just so well reputed by everyone. Anyone who considers themselves like even just a mild level anime fan has heard about Cowboy Bebop, has heard everyone sing its praises, and knows it's something that you need to watch. And I am even more guilty now because a friend of mine got the Blu-ray collection, so she gave me her DVD collection. So I have it sitting on my bookshelf in my living room, and I still haven't watched it yet. And I'm like, what am I doing with my life? Clearly not watching a very beloved anime classic. But I definitely do plan to fix this. I just need to wait for the right time, I guess.
It is also all on Netflix.
Is it really?
Yep.
Oh, shit.
I
Okay.
don't
now
know
you
about
have
the movie,
two
but the
ways
series
to
is.
watch
It's
it.
also on Hulu.
Funimation.
Yeah.
It's also on your brain's hard drive space. Just boot it up behind your eyelids. Watch for a few hours. You'll enjoy it.
The future.
I'm gonna watch one episode on my DVD, one episode on Netflix, one episode on Hulu. One
Why
on
would
Funimation.
you do that? Why are you like this?
To punish myself for the ignorance when so much accessibility to Cowboy Bebop has been available.
To be fair,
I haven't
I
seen
always,
either.
yeah,
Yes.
I had the Blu-rays at one point, and I just sold them off
Wow.
to Zach because I was like, I'm not gonna get to this, and you have you have a reverence for this that I obviously can't touch. I will watch it when I get to it eventually. I'm just lazy.
So wait, show of hands in our podcast, who here has watched Cowboy Bebop?
I have.
I have.
Again,
So it's
John and
G
Don.
Gundam all over again.
I actually watched it for the first time earlier this year, late last year with Zach. Me and
Yeah.
Zach watched it together.
Wow.
You watched
Jack saved you from shame.
I watched it back when I was in school, but I somewhat recently decided to just make sure that I have actually watched all of it and that I didn't miss random episodes, and did watch it all on Netflix recently. So yeah.
Y'all are just out here getting A's on the shame list right now.
All right, John, what's your first one on your list of shame?
My first one on my list of shame is Steins Gate.
Okay, John, you took one from me.
Wait, what?
Look at this. Look at this.
Well, I mean, I've seen Steins Gate. I'm just more confused that he hasn't. I thought he had. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm
Nope,
surprised.
I skipped it when it first started because I knew it was somehow related to Chaos Head, and I tried that when it first started, and I just couldn't get my head around it.
Isn't it the
and
same?
So I was like, this is something to do with that, so I'm not going to even try.
Isn't-
but then
is-
I was told they're not really related at all, so...
No, it's the same company. They have a semicolon in
They're
there.
part of the same series. They are related. It's just they're
They're completely different stories.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just different stories.
Isn't Robotics Note also in there too?
Yes.
Yeah, Robotics
Yeah.
Notes actually has a character from Steins Gate though.
Mhm.
Huh.
I need to watch Robotics. It's not on my shame list or anything, but I do need to get to it someday.
Ooh.
But Steins Gate I've seen,
I
and I
just thought
think
of a good
that
replacement one.
it-
Hold up.
I think that Steins Gate is really
There we
good.
go.
There's a lot of buzz in the community that it's not as good as everybody totes it to be, but I think it's pretty damn good.
Heck, one thing that makes the fact that it's on my shames list even worse is the fact that I am currently wearing a Steins Gate t-shirt.
What the fuck?
John! What are you doing?
What are you repping, fam?
Because it came in the anime loot box.
Okay, that makes a little bit more sense.
So I have it. I have a bunch of t-shirts for anime that I haven't watched. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, damn. You definitely should get to Steins Gate sometime. I think that you would like it a whole lot.
I've heard things to make me feel that way, so that's why I'm like, yeah, I really should watch this.
Dominic, what's the first thing on your list?
Let me go to my Kitsu and look at my want to watch list.
Ooh.
You see, that would have been a smart thing to do.
Yeah, I didn't.
I
think of that
literally
method.
just like I sat here and thought about it for a while and came up with a few, and then I was like, popular anime.
I just
Yeah.
used,
Google.
yeah, I did.
See, that doesn't work for me because I don't like most popular anime, so...
I just used Mal for
that's fair.
mine as well.
Y'all are so smart. What the fuck? That's what I should have done.
Anyways, just scrolling down my list, the first one that I see that I haven't watched but mean to is Star Driver.
Oh!
Ooh, nice one.
I tried that one.
I haven't watched it because I knew someone who really liked it, and I was like, oh, well, you really like this, so clearly I'm not going to touch it. But I don't talk to them anymore, so now it's free game. I can jump into that without, having to associate it with that person. But
I mean, that's very fair.
Yeah, I know it has great animation, and it has robots, so
Bones,
I should watch
if I
it.
remember.
And it's Bones, so
Yeah, Bones.
there you go. I should watch Star
That's-
Driver. That's my first on my shame list.
You're shameless. We're just pulling all the skeletons out of the closet. And I rigged this so I got to go last. I was going to say Cowboy Bebop, but I got stabbed in the throat. So we're going to go down to the next one. Which I've actually talked about this before, but I need to see Nana. Like, it's so...
Yes.
like, well-regarded, and it's a dark, well, not necessarily dark, but more adult drama, centered around people who are older, from what I understand, and I've heard that it's a very good music anime as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's got a lot of really good, I've somehow managed to not, like, spoil anything for this about myself, for it to myself. There we go.
I'd be concerned if you were spoiling things about yourself to yourself.
Yeah.
Like that implies
Please
implies
just follow me
a
at
large lack of
twitter.com/elk.
self-awareness.
Yeah, anyway,
Looking meta.
but yeah, I've managed to not spoil anything about Nana for myself, and I think that's great. I don't even know what Nana is about. I just know that it's something that is very well beloved in both the anime community and a lot of people that I know personally. Yeah, I feel really bad with each passing day that I don't watch Nana, but nobody's making it easy for me to watch either. Like, it doesn't have, like, an official release
Yeah.
that I can really get a hold of. It doesn't stream anywhere, so it's just kind of like, here's this really good anime that I didn't watch when it was on Netflix, so...
Well, they should get it back. Like, come on, Netflix.
It was on Netflix, right?
Yes.
I
Mhm.
think
Yeah.
it was. I think Viz has, quote unquote, is sitting in the license, but I think it may have lapsed. I'm just probably gonna laugh if Discotheque gets it, because Discotheque gets everything that lapses at a certain point. They have Hitman Reborn, for crying out loud, so.
I would love it if they do.
Yeah, if they were to get it, I'd buy it. I think it's I mean, it's so well regarded enough. I feel like I could buy it and I'm not going to regret the purchase just because it seems like a very Cassie show. And for a very Cassie show, I've went a very long time without watching it. So
Yeah, it's also one I need to see as well.
Cass, you really don't know anything about it? Like, at all?
nope, I don't know anything except for there are 2 characters named Nana.
Yeah?
And that it is a gritty adult look at relationships and the music industry.
There you go. Okay. For a second, I was like, she doesn't know even about the music bit, because that's, like, I've seen...
Well, I mentioned the music bit
Oh, yeah,
earlier.
yeah.
I know that much, but I don't know anything about the plot.
Yeah. I've seen
I
a
don't
few
know
episodes.
anything about what the characters do, what the characters say. I hear there's a really infuriating one in there somewhere. Anyway, the point is there's a lot of talk about this show. It's probably very good, and I should see it. Craig, what is your number 2?
Number 2, Tiger and Bunny. A show by Sunrise that basically focuses on superheroes and basically about how the superheroes... It kind of like takes a different approach to it, and the fact that they have to be sponsored and have to obviously rep advertisements and logos. So, hey kids, you get to see Pepsi in the anime. Don't watch it on Netflix because they've censored all the advertisements. Go watch it on Hulu. And also, you get to see how there's a dad and there's a daughter in there too, and how he has to keep his super hidden identity from his daughter, and basically the fact that she gets superpowers, from what I understand. And I'm like, oh, this actually sounds pretty cool. I need to watch this show. I haven't, even though it's been on my radar for several years.
I'm actually surprised they haven't seen it already.
Yeah, I tried again. I watched the spin-off Double Decker, set in the same universe, but yeah. And from what I understand, I think Tiger and Bunny is getting a season 2. It has movies.
I think I heard something about that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's been confirmed. It's like getting a season 2.
Yeah. So
there are movies.
Yeah.
Don't quote me, but I remember reading that somewhere.
I think there's a prequel movie. I don't know if there's compilations, but yeah.
Neat.
I have to look into that.
I think Tiger and Bunny was one of those shows I was holding over Zach's head for a while, just being like, I know you're recommending this to me, but I'm not going to watch it.
Damn.
I feel like that was the reason, because I remember that being a thing years ago, and then I just never got around to it. So Tiger and Bunny is something I should probably watch at some point, too. I've heard really good things.
Mm-hmm.
Cammy.
Okay, I know I can't stab you in the back with this one. Unintentionally, might
sure?
I add, yes, because it is Death Parade.
Yes, please watch Death Parade.
I have no excuse. I watched Death Billiards back before the full anime was adapted, and then I knew they were going to make a full adaptation, and Death Billiards is amazing. It's really, really well done. I think Get even watched Death Parade just casually at one point, and so he's seen it. I haven't seen. That's very rare. He doesn't watch as much anime as I do, but that's one of those ones that he's seen that I haven't seen. I hear nothing but great things from people, that it's just a beautiful show. It's very compelling, lots of good drama and darkness, and really good just thoughtful stuff to chew on. And it's streaming available. I just have no excuse. I just need to fix that. All I know is that the girl that works in the bar that has the toothpaste colored hair that's in a braid, and she's she's singing in the opening. She is my favorite. Yeah. She's my favorite. I already know that.
She's very spicy. I remember I watched Death Parade as it was airing because I was so in love with Death Billiards, and I love that show. But I think me and Craig actually watched the final episode together.
I believe so, yeah.
In person. And the only thing that kept me from bursting into tears at the time was the fact that Craig was there. I was just like, oh, this is so emotional. I hope you can watch it one of these days. It's very good.
Yeah, and oh, go ahead, John.
I was about to say, I also need to finish watching it. I did start watching it. I was watching it as it was airing. But at some point, I guess I just got caught up with a bunch of other things and lost track of where it was. So I'm going to have to watch it from the beginning at this point.
And in terms of spoilers, I'm not completely spoiler free. I know that there's something about ice skating in there, but I don't have the details. So I still think whatever bits that are going to hit are probably still going to hit hard. And I am so welcome to that. I welcome it.
Yeah, You're going to love it. You're going to love it. John, what's next on your list?
Next on my list is Hibike Euphonium.
Oh, I did not know that.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
That's a KyoAnni.
Yep, a KyoAnni show. And I really don't know why I didn't watch it the first time, because I think part of me was like, oh, it's another K-On, but with with Brass Band instead. But I liked K-On!, so why did I not watch it if it was that? But it's also actually does a lot with the music as opposed to just sitting around drinking tea with the instruments in the background.
It's very tonally different.
And yeah, I've just seen a lot of things that have just been making me think, I really should watch this. And I just never have. So I've been meaning to fix that, but just never got around to it. So
we had a review for season 2, but it got lost due to technical difficulties, I recall.
I believe so.
Yeah, I also need to watch that show. I've been meaning to for like a while.
Ooh. Well, if you ever watch it, you'll have to let me know, because I would like to rewatch Hibike after watching Liz and the Bluebird. I feel like I could go back with a fresh perspective.
Yeah. That's a good
I remember... Yeah, because I really remember liking season 1 of Hibike Euphonium, and then season 2 just, for some reason, just did not click with me, but maybe it would now. We'll see. We will see. Dominic, you're next.
Back to the list.
Are you people have been talking? You've been looking this entire time?
No, that takes effort. And I look up on my own time, okay?
Oh.
All right.
Is this your equivalent of taking a bathroom break on company time?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I guess my next one is Slayers. Haven't seen that, but it looks like the kind of 90s it kind of reminds me of a 90s Japanese RPG, which seems right up my alley, so I would probably enjoy that. I don't really like medieval stuff or like fantasy that much, at least not nowadays, but throw in some of that 90s flair and I'm like, oh, this is suddenly good. So, yeah, I'll watch that someday.
That's one I haven't seen either, actually.
I hear it's good. I know the second OP is a fucking absolute bop. Like, one of the best anime OPs of all time. But
it took me a second to remember what Slayers even was, and now I'm like, oh yeah, that's something that like I thought about, because it seems to encompass like badass female characters.
Yeah,
it's like kind of a classic. It's very it's referenced a lot. I think it's inspired a lot.
Yeah.
So I should watch it at some point, but I probably, knowing me, it won't be anytime soon. But hey,
maybe, who knows?
Yeah, I have
right.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. I was going to move on to me if we're still on this topic. We can go.
I have a friend who loves a lot of, like, 90s anime, and I've watched a couple on her recommendation, but, like, Lena Inverse, the lead of Slayers, is, like, one of her favorite characters of all time.
Yeah, she seems to be incredibly popular.
Yeah. Good design, good character. If memory serves, I watched, like, the first season, and she's, like, all about that the treasure. All about the hunt and adventures. And I'm like, yay.
Right.
Okay, time to move on to Kiyomi pandering hours.
Ooh!
The next thing on my list is Honey and Clover. Because I have been trying for years to watch this masterpiece. That not only Kiyomi, but also a lot of people in the anime community have touted as, like, just one of the best slice of life animes, period. And coming off the heels of March Comes in Like a Lion, which is by the same author, by the same mangaka, I'm like, man, I love March Comes in Like a Lion. March Comes in Like a Lion is my favorite anime. I should probably watch her other works. And now it's been about a couple years, and me and Cammy have watched the first episode like 2 or 3 times, and that's about it.
Yeah, I think, didn't you also watch it once with that thing that, like, you and Pete and Craig and people did, where you would, like, you guys would do, like, somebody pick a anime, and we'll watch the
rock,
first
paper,
episode?
scissors anime, yeah.
Yeah, I think you mentioned before that Pete had, like, chosen the first episode before or something.
He did, yeah. And we watched the first episode, and then I watched the first episode again on my own, because I was like, I gotta get back to the show about college kids and their shenanigans. And then I met Cammie, and she was in love with the show, and she had the box set, and we watched, like, the first episode twice, or first couple episodes, I think.
Yeah, I think we watched the first two.
Yeah, and then she came back, like, a year later with her box set and was like, let's try again. And I was like, LOL, let's do that. And then we got, like, a couple episodes in. So, someday, I need to finish Honey and Clover.
I am honestly good with, like, taking space, though, too, because, like, a thing that I always worry about for people, especially people that, like, really love March, like, I don't want it to be compared, you know, because they are so, they're far apart in a lot of ways in terms of, like, storytelling. Like, I think
of course.
Yeah, like, her, she might have been more novice back then and stuff. So it's definitely, like, when you feel like it, I think, definitely. Just, it's okay to take your time.
One day it will happen.
Yeah.
I've seen episodes of it, but not all of it, because it was one of the things that they were showing at the anime club. I was a member. I was a member of when I was at uni.
Very cool.
But I know I didn't see every episode. I know I missed. I didn't attend every time at the time for some reason.
Yeah. Does that mean we're on round 3?
We are on round 3. We totally freaking are. So that means back to you, Craig.
Alrighty then. So basically, since one of my picks was cannibalized, I wrote 2 fringe picks to just have on the off chance that one of them would be chosen. Let's see here. I'm gonna go with ClanAd because I said the other day, I've hardly watched any Kyoto animation work outside of Tamako Market, Beyond the Boundary, and really Lucky Star and Haruhi Suzumiya and Silent Voice. And Cass likes ClanAd, and I've tried watching ClanAd on several occasions, and I don't know if it's my jam, but maybe I need to be in the right mind space for it. But it's one of those shows that is just like, yo, you should probably watch ClanAd because ClanAd's a good coming of age story, and it's about like friendships and all that sort of shit and high school shenanigans and yada yada. And then I hear after story is fucking sad, even though I've been completely spoiled on every story beat of both seasons. Don't know if that really affects my mood going in.
I don't think you've been spoiled on every story beat. Not every story beat has been spoiled. Kingdom Come at this point. Some of them have been.
Yeah.
But not every arc has.
Yeah, not every arc, but the main crux of After Story has. So, I don't know. Either way, I will get to it someday. I've been telling myself that for years. But again, I am lazy, and we will see where the winds take me with anime.
Okay, Cammie, you're up.
The Vision of Escaflowne.
Oh, good choice.
Ooh, another one I haven't seen. I've seen episode 1 of it.
Classic.
Have you seen it, Cassie?
I have watched the first couple episodes with Zach because he's like, "Oh man, Cassie, this is a show you would like," and I'm like, all right, okay," and then I stopped.
I feel like I've had that exact same treatment with that show. I had a coworker at the library like years ago who just owns a bunch of anime, and we were like, okay, well, let's recommend a series to each other and swap. I made him watch Princess Tutu, which was a great decision. He loved it and he cried. But then he gave me Visions of Escaflowne, and I watched like the first couple episodes, but then I just kind of like slowed down on it. I think a big thing that I have to get past, like, it is the art style, and I just have to adjust. Like, even just for its time, it's a very, like, a very unique art style that just
it is.
Yeah, just does some things that, like, you don't even really see in a lot of other anime at that time. I do remember it had really freaking cool music, like, intense, like, choruses and stuff to, like, go with the fantasy mecha stuff, and that was really cool. And again, I think this is really beloved to a lot of people and a lot of folks that are fans of like more classic 90s anime. This show always comes up with high marks. So I've really just got to get around to it and give it another shot, because where else are you going to get like girl isekai with romance, but also fucking mech robots. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a very slim market.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's one I probably should get back to eventually too. It had a very interesting first couple episodes.
It's all on
Yeah.
Funimation, if I
Yeah.
remember right.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if I remember right, the score is Yuki Kajura. Very,
No.
very
Yeah,
core.
Kajura.
Oh, Yuki Kaijura?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, John, what's the last one on your list?
Last one of mine.
Yes. Who's the other
Netoge.
John? Who's here?
Netoge no yome wa onanoko janai to omota.
Wait,
or-
why does that sound familiar?
What is
And
that
you
in
never thought
English?
you thought there was never a girl online. Is the
Interesting.
Cassie, you're the one that recommended this to me, actually.
I did. It's a really trashy anime, but I liked it, and I thought you might like it too.
And for that reason, it is on my shame list because I feel like I should at least give it a try and see what I think of it.
Can I-
Everything
can I
I've
be
heard about it does
completely
sound like stuff
transparent?
I'd like.
Ooh,
So
ooh, transparency.
Please watch March Comes In Like a Lion before you watch the trashy show I recommended to you.
I recommend
Solidarity
it.
snaps right
Yeah,
here.
Please.
I think
Yeah.
you misunderstood the point of the shame list.
The
No. I mean, like, listen, there's shows that I feel bad because people recommended them to me and I haven't watched them. But if John is going to pick one to go watch later that he has etched into his brain, I want it to be March Comes In Like a Lion.
okay,
then
fair
after
enough.
that,
that is one.
and
That is also
That is-
one on my shame list.
that is
And
the
then after
higher
Just
that-
wasn't
priority.
one that immediately came to mind.
Okay, March number 1. Then after that, Showa Gandoroku Rakugo Shinju.
There you go. Then you can watch the trashy anime that I'm still sure you like. Because I liked the trashy anime, but it's trash.
So my shame
Trash.
list is huge. We all know this.
Aw.
And that's okay. I'm just saying, if you're gonna take something we've recommended, we have
Options.
preferences for which ones you get to first. So if you're feeling bad and feeling shame, we can help you feel a little bit better. You know, just from one host to another.
John, let me just phrase it like this. I don't think you're gonna cry at the "and you never thought there was a girl online" anime. You'll bawl at March Comes In Like a Lion.
Fair
That's
enough.
true. That's gonna wreck John. I'm so excited. But yeah, that actually is really funny because I didn't expect you to say that. But you should totally check out the trashy anime eventually. I think you'll like it. It's very fun. And trashy. It's trash!
Trash!
I love trash.
I do too. John, have you seen Toy Story 4?
Not yet.
Okay, I will save myself then. But there's a really good trash reference in Toy Story 4. I hope you enjoy it. Coming back around, I almost said John again. Dominic.
Wow.
John gets 4 picks, apparently. No, Dominic.
Princess Tutu.
I can fix that! I can fix it!
I know, you've been telling me every time it gets brought up, oh, you would like that show, you gotta
Oh
watch
my
it,
God.
you'd like that show, you gotta watch it, and I'm just like, yeah, I know, everybody has told me this. But I have not gotten around to that. Maybe
I got
someday.
the Blu-rays sitting on my bookshelf.
They're gonna be put to great use.
It's a
Maybe
fun show.
someday.
It's a fun show, actually. Yeah.
It's a fun show. It's a
Mhm.
dramatic show. It's a beautiful show.
Maybe someday.
It'll happen someday, I promise.
All the world's a stage, and we are just merely players.
I didn't know
Every
this became
single
the
last one.
Shakespeare chat box.
I mean, that show is very Shakespearean. Theatrical.
Hey, here's a story about a brother named Othello. He liked white women and he liked green jello.
What?
I don't know the rest of the lyrics, so that sucks.
Yeah.
Ricky, what? Rewind.
I
If
got caught
only
with my
Zach
pants
were
down.
here.
If only, fuck!
I mean,
You
he'll
can-
be on soon. We can
I mean-
resurrect this.
I mean, you can call him. Put him on speakerphone.
Oh my god, no, I won't do that. But maybe we could have him on. Maybe for the Sarazumai episode, we'll ask him if he could do a quick reenactment for us.
But then I can't beatbox.
Ah, shit, you
I'm
right!
not on that episode. I didn't
We will
watch that
find-
show.
We will find a way, even if it has to be on one of the box bits where we just invite Zach in so you guys can do the Othello rap. It'll happen, okay?
Okay. You don't have
I'll
to
make
go.
it
You don't
happen.
have to go to such lengths. I was just making a joke.
I'll make it happen.
Don't promise the viewers anything they don't need.
Also, something that I am making happen is my last anime on my list. And it is the one anime that is on my shame list, but I am currently watching.
Oh.
And that is Natsume Yujincho.
I'm
Damn.
happy.
You threw me for a loop.
I was in the same mindset as Tom.
You threw me for
What did you think I was gonna say?
Go Princess
worry.
Precure.
Oh, that too. That too.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Well, the thing is that the reason why I thought of Natsume is because I'm almost done.
Mm-hmm.
So I've almost marked this one off my shame. Well, almost done with season 1. Go Princess Precure has had a resurgence this week, so it also gets a slight nod. But both of those animes are very special to special people in my life. So I've been making an effort for both of them to get it done, and I'm actually making damn good progress on both, so hey.
Big proud of you. Big loves.
But yeah, Natsume Yujincho I'm actually almost done with, though. So I'm very close to scratching it off my my shame list, so that's why I wanted to bring it up. Also, Cowboy Bebop was already taken, and the only other thing I had on this list was Serial Experiments Lane. So I was getting really worried
Good
that I was
call.
going to run out of shit.
That's a good.
That was on mine too.
That's a good show, from what I understand.
Lane's also one series that I haven't seen.
But yeah, you guys, you should watch Go Princess Precure. It's probably my second favorite Precure so far.
Hard catch.
Granted, I have not watched a lot, but I've watched a bit of Kira Kira, and I feel like, and then I've watched a bit of Star Twinkle, and I think Go Princess is so far better than both of those in regards to just keeping me engaged. So go watch that, and go watch Natsume Yujincho, because Natsume Yujincho is amazing and regarded in the community, and Precure needs to be a little bit more regarded, to be completely honest. I know so many people who watch magical girl shows and somehow do not know what Precure is.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling to me. To be fair, I was in the same boat not that long ago, but still, it just...
I have a feeling I know the reason behind that.
I mean, there's
accessibility?
There's lack of
Yes.
accessibility. There's
100% that.
There's a Sailor Moon crowd that basically labels it as just a shameless copy.
Yep.
That's
there's
so
a bunch,
dumb.
There's a bunch of things.
Yep.
Listen, I love
The fact
Sailor
that it's a
Moon.
kid's show, I mean...
Yeah.
I will stand Sailor Moon to the end of my days, but they are very different shows.
Yeah, no, there was a Sailor Moon copy show. It was called Wedding Peach, and it's hot garbage. And I own the box set. Yeah.
I love Wedding Peach!
Yep. And it's a straight Sailor Moon ripoff. It was even made around the same time.
Damn.
Oh, my Lanta. Oh, shit, I'm having flashbacks. We should probably transfer to our review, but if anybody has any last minute things they want to throw out there, since I gotta give GoPre and Natsume both some spotlight, if somebody else wants to throw one more out there, you can.
I have two, real quick.
Okay, lightning round, go.
Rakugo Shinju. I've watched 4 episodes of it. I need to continue with it. I keep getting distracted by shiny other objects. As well as Majestic Prince, because mecha porn.
Nagi no Asakara, because I got about halfway
What?
through it and then never finished it.
Shit. One I will
this.
take care of. One I will absolutely take care of very soon. Mob Psycho 100, seasons 1 and 2.
Yes!
Good.
Yes!
Good shit.
I mean, you don't have much of a choice in the matter, but yes!
I mean, I chose to be on that review, but of course I
That's
would,
fair.
because you love
That's
it.
fair.
You love
I
it, so I
do.
want to watch it for you.
Another thing I
Please
own a
meet
t-shirt
Love My
for
Son.
and haven't seen, but
God
yeah,
damn it,
gonna
John.
fix that.
John, give the shirt to
Everyone,
Cassie.
Please. I wouldn't fit in it, probably.
But you could, like, cut out the thing and put it on. Okay, sorry. We're done. We're done here.
But yes, we've debuted, or not debuted, we've spoken fondly of multiple anime stay that we hopefully will get to in the near future. Some that mean a lot to us, or some that mean to a lot in the anime community. So we owe them, and we will get to them someday.
Wait, does Dom have any other shoutouts or not?
They didn't shout out, so I didn't think they did. But if you have any,
can I consult the list?
oh my fucking
The Master Scrolls.
All right, just looking through.
I don't want to record past 9. They said.
You guys demanded that I be here. You waited 50 minutes for me. I'm just gonna waste everybody's fucking time now. So,
oh my god.
Let's see. We've got Ideon. I need to watch that. It's a classic, inspired Ava, and it's I hear it's really good. Let's see, scrolling back, we've got, we got Mushishi, I hear that's really good.
I actually hear good things too.
Yeah, just, One Outs, by the director who did Kaiji, I hear that show's really ridiculous. It's about a baseball player who doesn't actually know how to play baseball.
I'm just shaking my head right now.
Let's see, we've got,
They've gone past us by this point. Honey, please, ring it in!
No. The Girl Who Left Through Time, I had like
Awesome.
I had
another one.
I had a poster for that I got from AX 2011 in my room for like the longest time. Had never seen it. Let's see.
Shugokara, I need to finish that.
Hey.
Let's see. The Cutie Honey, short by Gynax.
You mean Re-Cutie Honey?
Yeah.
Same.
Doremi, I gotta watch Doremi. Here, that's good.
Character design.
Honey, I'm cutting you off. You get one more.
Gundam Thunderbolt, gotta watch that.
Very good things.
Honey.
Mospedia,
Honey.
gotta watch that.
Honey.
Dragonar.
Honey!
What?
Round it out, please. I quit.
Okay, cool.
Someone else can host. I'm done.
Can we take the wheel?
Dom needs to take the wheel because Dom made Cassie be done.
No, they can't. They can't take the
Why
wheel.
can't-
They've had the wheel for too long right now.
Dom's the one that crashed it.
Bubblegum
You know
Crisis.
what?
I need to watch
In
Bubblegum
that
Crisis.
crash,
That's
Dan
murdered
Cougar.
every single one of
need
us.
to watch Dan Cougar. I hear that's really good.
We are all
Um,
zombies.
F, A Tale of
Good
Memories. I hear that's
segue.
good.
Wow. Okay.
Giant Gorg. Need to watch
Fucking
that.
giant.
Kaleido
Anyway.
Star. I've heard people
Big
really
O.
like Kaleido Star. It's been
Big O,
recommended to me a
Big
lot.
Okay.
I've already
okay,
seen
okay.
Big O. Craig.
I haven't.
Well, where the fuck were you?
Anyway, probably watching full FLCL like everybody else. Anyway,
Wow.
moving
Big
on.
O's probably better. I'm just
It
gonna
probably
Okay,
is.
guys.
Just gonna
Hey,
throw that
We
out
need
there.
to get to the review. I had a good transition and everything,
Yeah.
and no one's respecting it, and I am very upset.
I respected it, it just couldn't barely hear it.
Okay, finally moving along to the review. Today we are going to be talking about Zombie Land Saga, both in Japanese and English. That is the name. Fun times. It was created by Studio MAPPA. Studio MAPPA is actually a pretty beloved studio to a few of us here because they've worked on things such as Sarazenmai, Yuri on Ice, Dororo, and Banana Fish, which is pretty special and great. Moving on to the synopsis, Sakura Minamoto, dreams of becoming an idol. Unfortunately, reality hits her like a truck, and she dies in a sudden traffic accident. Not very subtle, my anime list. 10 years later, she wakes up in Saga Prefecture, only to find herself a zombie with no memory of her past. While still coming to terms with her demise, she meets a man named Kotaro Tatsumi, who explains that he has resurrected her and 6 other zombie girls from different eras for the purpose of economically revitalizing Saga by means of an idol group. Assuming the role of an abrasive manager, Kotaro begins scheduling events. The girls go along with it, eventually deciding to name their idol group Franchosho? Ooh.
Shushu.
What was it? Fran Shushu? Fran Shushu. An absurdly comedic take on the idol genre, Zombie Land Saga tells the story of Fran Shushu's heartwarming struggle to save Saga Prefecture while hiding their zombie identities and rediscovering their past lives. So, before we get started, one thing that we need to take into consideration is the story behind Zombie Land Saga, that being that this show, for the most part, was kept under lock and key until its premiere. Almost nobody knew what it was going to be about, including poor John, who just randomly put it on his list and hoped for the best.
Pretty much.
Luckily, they did also not get hit by a truck, and we got an interesting thing to review today. I'm actually really excited to talk about the story of Zombie Land Saga, but I felt that we kind of had to preface it with its own little saga that happened during production and shortly after, before we had it in our hands to watch.
Its own saga.
Its own saga!
Brilliant.
That being said, the story of Zombie Land Saga itself is really interesting because it starts out with this kind of, I wouldn't say monster of the week, but genre of the week kind of approach to comedy. And then shortly after episode 2, it kind of branches into mostly idol activities, aikatsu, if you will. And the stories behind each girl involved, or each zombie involved. And while I kind of liked this transition, I felt kind of blindsided by it a bit and kind of was hoping we'd get a little bit more. And I was wondering what you guys thought about it.
Yeah, I'm very similar. Like, again, just because the show had like no, so much mystery shrouded in it. Every episode that I watched, and I watched this as it was airing, I was just like, I don't know where the story's gonna go from here. Let's see. And then probably around like the last third, maybe not even third, maybe like the last half of the show, it really does kind of solidify into those like, here's a girl and here is her episode. And I do think those were probably the strongest episodes. My biggest complaint is that not each character got as much screen time as the others. There were a couple of characters that were kind of ignored, and that bummed me out a little bit.
For sure. How did the rest of you guys feel about the story? Maybe not even just its structure, but also just it as a whole. How did you feel about the transition and how they really approached all the characters?
I liked not knowing what was going to happen, or like not knowing what the show was going to do. Like, so the first 2 episodes were like really refreshing to me. And while the like character focused episodes had some of the best episodes in the series, I felt that once it kind of hit that stride, it was just kind of like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing now. You know, there wasn't really any surprise, I guess, after that point. I guess the structure and what the show was doing, it was like, okay, this is where we're here for. It's not really gonna throw any punches in that sense. So I guess that would be my main critique with the story, but I overall thought it was pretty good at what it wanted to do. Yeah.
Craig, what about you? Or John? John sounded like he was about to speak up there.
Yeah, go, John.
I was just about to say, when I first started watching it, I did enjoy the surprise of it, and with the first couple of episodes, but I had a bit of a concern whether it keeping up with that kind of style was going to last. But it kind of didn't stick with any one thing long enough for it to get old. And even when it did get to the character backstory portion of the series, all the girls are so vastly different and from such different backgrounds that even those backstory episodes were quite different from each other. Only 2 of them are from similar backgrounds, and that was actually used to highlight differences in their backgrounds. So yeah, I still really enjoyed it. So
for me,
Craig?
I felt as though initially I thought that episode 1 made a strong case of how, like, out there and just in your face. It kind of like especially with the producer, like the style of comedy felt just like so out there and outlandish, and it's just like in your face, and it doesn't give a fuck about what you think about it, and it's just screaming the entire time, aka what Mamoru Miyano's doing, and Sakura being like the audience insert. But then, as y'all said, it tries to do different. In the first couple episodes, it tries to approach different styles of music, heavy metal, then rap, and then it turns into an idol show. But after it turns into an idol show, then, as you all said, I enjoyed the character-centric episodes because I liked seeing, as John said, what was the differences between all the girls when they were born and raised, because obviously they come from different time periods and different years, so it was interesting to see what they brought to the table. The comedy worked for me after a certain point. Like, at first I was like, oh, is it going to wear too thin? Is the yelling going to get annoying? Are we just going to stand there and be bewildered by Mamoru Miyano? Yes, you are supposed to be bewildered, but you come around to him because nice bird.
It's nice bird.
Yes.
I don't know. I feel a little ripped off. Where's my smooth jazz episode of Zombie
I
Land?
mean,
Yeah.
Season 2, probably, maybe.
I want a ballad of them all reenacting Singing in the Rain. That's what I want.
It's just, yeah,
Give me my musical shit too. I need my musical episode where they just all burst into song and dance walking down the street. I need my smooth jazz. I need my country music episode of Zombie Land Saga.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I do really wish that they did at least keep up with the different styles. Like they could have still done hey, crazy idol escapades and like the episodic stories and stuff. It actually would have even been really cool if the featured song, there were like some featured songs during certain character episodes, if that was maybe in a music style that was slightly more reminiscent of the time period that they're from.
Yeah.
Like that would have even been a cute little approach. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I was pretty disappointed when we just went to like very standard idol music, but that's more something I will talk about in production.
It's
for sure.
It's to a point where I'm like, so this producer son, Mamoru Miyano, is like, okay, I want to form an idol unit, but let's go and sing heavy metal, and then we're gonna go sing rap the next day. But by the way, then we're gonna take a hard left, and we're gonna go straight into idol dances and numbers. And what am I
here's the thing.
watching? Love Live?
He had a very sound plan because much like the other characters who became fans of Fran Shushu, they were pulled in by one characteristic of their performances, and when they went to just doing idol music, you're like, well, I like them anyway, so I'm gonna stick around.
It's very true.
Okay.
It's all a metaphor.
Oh no.
Oh no. Is Ikuhara involved?
I was gonna say, could you imagine Ikuhara's take on Zombie Land Saga?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes, I can.
I never thought I needed this, but I need an Ikuhara idol anime. I need it.
I would so love that.
I need it in and around my life.
The deconstruction of the idol anime.
Oh yeah, especially because he tends to play with like metaphors of like sexuality. Oh man, I can imagine how fun that would be. But anyway, we're getting off topic. Back to Zombie Land. This might be a good time for us to switch into characters because I think we all basically have the same feelings on the story and how it was presented, and how it was presented in a pretty solid way, even if we did have some setbacks with it. But characters. I think we all have varying thoughts and feelings about each character. So how about we swap over to that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
I want to kind of have Cammy start because I know that a character that she was really intrigued by kind of got shafted. So
yeah, so there are probably three characters that I think were the strongest in this show for me, and I know that the other two are going to be mentioned, hence why when I was thinking of a character to highlight, I thought of one who is Yugiri, and she was in I'm trying to remember, I think she was from like the Meiji period.
You are correct.
Maybe?
She's a courtesan in the
yeah, she was a courtesan.
Bakematsu / Meiji Restoration era.
Yeah. Another word for that that I believe Cassie mentioned when I was speaking to her is like geisha.
Yep.
Just to transfer for the work that she did and what she was known for, which is quite a different background from a lot of the other girls. I think she is the farthest one back that we reached.
Mhm.
Yep.
I think maybe it's Yamada Tai. Who knows?
Who knows where she's from?
Exactly.
Oh yeah, good point.
Yeah.
She's the mystery.
So Yugiri throughout the show kind of presents herself as like the elegant, like the wise, kind of One-sama
Yeah.
character, and I very much liked her design. I very much appealed to that personality type. Unfortunately, for a lot of the show, she is primarily just in the background and doesn't really get a lot of her own her focus in the show, which is really unfortunate. Where there were very distinct episodes highlighting a lot of other characters, Yugiri didn't get that treatment. There was kind of a fake out moment in like one episode, but it was framing a conflict of a different character. So I was just a little bit disappointed in that. But the fact remains that I was the most intrigued with her throughout the show. And even when she was just doing stuff in the background, it was really cool stuff. Like when she busts out what I'm going to say is probably like a koto or something. And she just starts playing it over over these girls rapping. She's just like, all right, I'm going to get in my corner. Let me accompany this.
That's
and
awesome.
She even, and she just does her little own like vocal beat drop, like, yo, ha, ha, while she's going. And it's really good. Yeah. And then, I really wish we had more of her, but I did probably enjoy her the most, and I think that had we had an episode dedicated to her, you could have done so much cool stuff, because the nature of her work was inherently to please men and was probably oppressive, and if anything, sexual in nature. There could have been some really cool social commentary there, which we know the show wasn't afraid to touch upon. So that was kind of a bummer, but she's good. I like her. Give me if we can't get a season 2, let's get an OVA episode about her, please.
Yeah, it's a lot of wasted potential.
Yeah.
I loved her aesthetic, as you said, just the One-sama. Like, man, I would have loved to see her backstory.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
She was really good that when there was times where things were getting a bit out of hand, she was the one that stepped in to try and straighten things out, even if she had to slap a person or two in the process.
That's true. She usually managed to stay calm as well. That was good.
Mm-hmm. She was really good at roping everybody in, but it would have been nice to know where those qualities came from, or just what her motivations in general might be.
Or hell, how about how there are certain characters in the show that got to basically address the ghosts of their past in a very direct way, but maybe you could have even addressed Yugiri's struggle, because again, she is like probably from the farthest time back. I doubt she's really going to run into anything relevant to like, remind her of her past as directly as some of the other girls do. So maybe she'd be sad about that. Like, who knows?
Yeah, and honestly, idol stuff would probably be the weirdest stuff to her.
Yes.
Like I want an episode where they sit down and are walking her through, oh, this is why we're doing what we're... But she just kind of went with the flow, which is part of what's great about her, but I want to know why. Like, why did she just go with the flow?
Also, on that note, like, I recall there being an idol, one of them, Junko, if I recall correctly. Yeah.
I love Junko.
Like, she was, like, bewildered by technology, because she comes from, like, I believe the 80s, and Yugiri is just more, like, in the background, like, yes, this is a computer, okay, I get this. It's just more like, why didn't Yugiri get astounded by, like, the disconnect of social media and, like, technology? But,
Because she's just the most epic chill.
Yeah.
That's what she is.
Super chill.
She did tap
Which is
her.
fine.
She did tap her like pipe thing on the screen and got yelled at
Yeah.
for that though.
Yeah. Good stuff.
For sure. Speaking of social relevant topics that they weren't afraid to talk about, why don't you talk to us about Lily a bit, honey?
Huh? What? Me?
Your favorite character? Lily?
Oh, yeah. My favorite character was Lily. She's the youngest of the group, the little one.
Mm.
And her her backstory. Well, actually, probably shouldn't even spoil that because that's one of the later ones. But basically, Lily represents a demographic that is very much not portrayed, not only in anime but just in media in general. And the way Zombie Land Saga actually tackles, representing her is incredibly apt in a way that's very surprising for a show like this, because generally Zombieland Saga kind of builds itself up to be this very silly, out there like comedy, and then it tackles this kind of representation in a way that pretty much most anime do not do at all, or don't even attempt to do, which is really cool. Also, her episode made me cry.
Me too. We were sitting next to each other watching it with just tears streaming down our face.
Yeah, it's like the best episode in the entire show, hands down. Yeah, and she's cute and just fun, and yeah, I like her.
Her design is very adorable.
It's adorable design. She was also a child actor, which I was somewhat maybe potentially going to be at one point until I decided not to because I wanted to play video games instead. So, yeah, there's that.
That's a story you should share sometime.
On the podcast?
Not necessarily on the podcast, but just with everybody here. Because I remember when you told me that story, I was like, really? Really, honey?
Yeah.
You got an actual scouting for the most part, and you're like, but I want to play video games.
I missed my audition because I was playing video games.
Think about it. I probably would have ended up like one of those Disney Channel stars.
Oh,
that is like that's like popular for like a few years, my like prime years of like 10 to like maybe 15.
Yeah.
And then I hit, my teens, and because I'm famous and I have a lot of money, I start doing crazy stuff like going to parties and doing drugs, and then I ruin my life, and it's terrible, and everybody remembers me as that washed out Disney Channel. I don't want to be like that.
Wow.
What a way to live in the moment, though, man.
That just went somewhere.
You could have been a Disney star, Dom.
But then you get resurrected in Saga Prefecture as a zombie years later.
Yes.
That's only if I die.
I thought you said you did. I thought that's where that
you party
path
a little
went.
too hard as a former Disney star.
I don't want to party that hard.
The lore is deep.
I don't really want to
Or
party
do
that
you?
much in general, but I don't want to party that hard.
The lore is deep.
Anyways,
Lily is a great character. I love what she represents. I love how they carried her episode in a very respectful way.
Mhm.
Yeah, like,
And the story that they gave her is something that transcends borders, but in her particular circumstance made it even hit even harder. Without going into spoilers, but the ending of her arc is something that even if she wasn't being represented that way, it would have hit. But because she was being represented in that way, it hit even harder.
Mm-hmm. And I have to agree. Arguably best episode of the entire show.
Yeah.
yeah, and it's not like for that episode they went all serious mode. There was still comedy in the episode. It's just her struggle wasn't the butt of the joke. They did handle it in a very tactful way, and you did care about it. And they did a really good job with it, so yeah.
John, you have to tell me why Ty is your favorite character. I need to know. Did you just think she was really funny?
She's also
I just need to know.
she's voiced by Sailor Moon, too.
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to point on that in production. The audacity of these people to get this fucking amazing, voice actress and then be like, I need you to grunt and moan into this microphone. And that's it.
That's the joke.
That's the thing.
That's
her. As each of the girls were introduced, with the exception of Sakura, everyone was given the legendary something, and then their name. And then it comes to Yamada Tai, and she's just the legendary Yamada Tai. And they didn't say what she's legendary for, and I believe it is because she had a legendary voice actress behind her. That is how legendary she is. But yeah, yeah, I latched onto her mostly because of the comedy aspect that she brought. But there were moments in one of the last episodes that really made me go, "Aww," over her. Where Sakura was sort of down for reasons, and the other Taya was there doing her best to try and cheer her up and try and get her back in the groove in her own way, despite not being able to communicate in any way other than grunts and groans.
Yeah, I agree. Her relationship with like Sakura specifically was very sweet. I liked that, and I do just think there were so many memories that I do remember from the show, and a lot of them were just laughing hysterically at Ty's antics.
Yep.
I vividly remember the scene where she was trying to drink from the water fountain, and then she just stuck her face onto the fountain, and then it just like overflowed at a certain point, and it created a little mini rainbow. It was pretty cute.
I think for me, my issue with Tai is that I wish that they... it's in the same camp as Yagiri, I guess. Whereas, though... But the thing is that's the joke. You're not supposed to know anything about Tai. Like, that ruins the illusion, I guess. But I still wish they did anyway.
Or
I wish that one day everybody woke up and she was sipping tea and she was the most refined fucking lady out of all of them.
Yeah.
I would have loved that. I just wish they did something that wasn't just I'm groaning and moaning and running around in the background biting things. I don't know.
yeah.
But then maybe I'm just not getting the joke as much as I should.
Well,
maybe I should have laughed more. I don't know.
Well, maybe it's again, going back to, does the joke work? Did the joke overstay its welcome? Honestly, I can kind of get that, because part of it was like, okay, are they just going to flip the switch? Are they going to do it? Who knows?
I don't know. And the weird thing for me is that she was weirdly cognizant.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like she was in, like, zombie mode through the whole thing like most of them were. But they still had her as if she was, but she was weirdly cognizant. She was able to do all the dances after a certain point.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
That's like the breaking the illusion of everything, right? Where she's able to comprehend, kind of like talk, but in groany ways, and do the dances perfectly. But, like, it's only after, like, the halfway point in the show, you're just like, okay, she's there, but not all the way there. But she'll still try and act like a zombie. But, like, act like a zombie, blah, blah, blah. So.
I have mixed feelings about Tai, I guess.
That's okay.
Fair enough.
Or maybe I'm just not fun and I don't get the joke.
I really doubt that's it.
Una. Cassie, shut your brain off and just have fun.
I mean...
Cass, can you shut your brain off and have fun?
I mean, I did for a good portion of the show, to be fair. I think I just, by the end, wanted something. I think it's the same thing for Yagiri, only on a different kind of spectrum.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
just because I didn't get it made it her a bad character or anything. It's just, I'm like, aw, man, that's such a shame.
Yeah, fair enough. I do also agree it's a bit of a shame. She did kind of get shafted for a good while, and then she just had those little moments during that one episode towards the end, and then it was just back to her being in the background doing crazy stuff, which was a shame.
Craig,
yeah.
Why don't you tell us about Lovely Biker Girl?
Saki is a fantastic character. She is planning to take over the country, and she will do it any means that she can. she basically is a delinquent, and she hates everyone, but slowly warms up to everyone. Ironically, she's the leader of Friend Shushu, which I thought Sakura would be, but she's not. And outside that, I did not know this until well after the fact, but apparently her Japanese voice actress is a voice actress for Cure Sunny from Smile Precure. And her English voice actress, Caitlin Glass, she's able to actually act like a tough punk biker chick, and I'm like, oh, that's actually pretty well done. I like that. But, despite her demeanor, she's pretty smug, and basically she does care in her own disgruntled way.
I really liked Saki's episodes a lot. I think that Lily's episode was my favorite, followed by the one with Saki involving rival biker gangs.
Yep.
I really
that
like
episode
that.
was really good.
Yeah.
She also take good care of her Tamagotchi.
Yeah, her Tamagotchi on her keychain.
Her 80s references and like 90s, they were good stuff.
Yeah.
I also really liked her interactions with Sakura. I liked that she didn't accept her right away, but did when she showed she had some guts.
Yeah, basically after a rap battle.
Yeah. Like, that was a really nice, like, friendship that I could believe happened on screen. And I really appreciated it.
Yeah.
Speaking of two other characters that we're probably not going to highlight a whole lot because none of us really put them as our favorite characters, but Ai and Junko also were a really great part of the show because they showed these different stages of how being an idol has progressed throughout the years, like what the different like expectations are.
Yeah.
In regards to like interacting with fans. And for a while, Junko was my favorite character. I just loved her aesthetic. She's the best singer of the bunch. But yeah, they're kind of like mere problem that's basically the exact same problem had to come to a solution when they both had to just kind of shut up and see each other's point of view. And I really think that was a cool way to like build their friendship, but also really display something really interesting that we don't get to see about the idol industry very often in idol anime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
I also wanted to nod my head towards who my favorite character ended up being in that Sakura,
Ooh.
also known as the main character of the show. I did not give a shit about her through most of the show. I felt that after the first couple episodes, she kind of was just there trying to keep everybody from running amok. And then I realized by the end, that's why I like her. She's just kind of trying to keep everyone together because they're all so crazy with their very unique
Attributes.
My brain just died. Their own unique attributes and personalities.
Yeah.
So she kind of had to be the ringleader because Kotaro, while he did his best, was really not there to do that most of the time. I think her and Yagari really tag teamed being the glue that held the group together. And they really showed that off really well in the last few episodes of the show. They wait till the very end to give Sakura an arc, and normally I would find that very infuriating. She's supposed to be quote-unquote our main character, but we didn't really get what makes her tick until the very end. But the way that they did it was really brilliant, and I appreciated it. It made me love her a lot as a character.
Yeah.
They made her really relatable. They made her very relatable. They made her very human. And her conflict is a very real one that I could see her having. So while I did think that it took a little more time than it necessarily needed to, it kind of spanned over like 3 episodes, the end of an episode into 2 more. I think it was still great, and I think that it wrapped up the series very nicely with them all coming together without going into spoilers. But yeah, Sakura's great. I liked her. Her design's very cute. She's very fun. Her voice actress had a really good time, I can tell.
Yeah.
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 I think the only other character that we've neglected to talk about is Kotaro.
Yes.
Which I was not a huge fan of him at the beginning. I thought he was comedically funny, but him as a character, I was like,
Kind of a dick.
I'm gonna get tired of you real quick. But I actually came to like him. He was an endearing by the end.
He was an
Endearing dude.
Mm-hmm.
What did you guys think?
I just like...
About any of the characters I just ran over very quickly.
Sakura was fine in my opinion. As you said, she basically was supposed to keep everyone... She's the everyman. She's basically the audience insert. She's the girl who will do her best. Kotaro, on the other hand, I love that boy. Mauro Miyano. Even his dubbed voice actor's fucking on point. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to check out the dub of this now.
Ooh, good point. Yeah. I think, again, I think just for me, like, actually kind of, I think I liked Sakura best when she was being, like, the person that just kind of keeps everything in line and keeps everything in order. I was not a big fan of the snow episode where she was, like, she was just very upset about, like, the rehearsals and all the stuff that was happening to her. I had a little bit of a hard time buying into her angst until we got her backstory in, like, the last episode, and I did enjoy it there, and I do really like her resolve. Maybe I'm just also sad because the episode I thought was going to be a Yugiri episode was the start of her arc, and I was just like, no.
Yeah, I do recall that as well.
Yeah, but I do think overall she was good, and I liked the purpose that she served. And then Kotaro, yeah, he's fun. He is at times, yeah, a little much. But again, I think that he comes around, and he is also a good member of the cast.
I think that I'll save it for spoilers, but one of the times I laughed the hardest was when Kotaro broke character and was interacting with somebody other than the girls, and he was just very different. I don't want to ruin it, but that was one of the times I laughed the hardest in the entire show was due to Kotaro. So I begrudgingly love the man. He's fun.
Excellent.
Do you have any final thoughts on characters in general, anybody, before we move on to production? Because I feel that's going to be kind of meaty.
Shout out to the cop, and shout out to the two concert neckbeards.
The number one fans and the cop who just needs a day off. Poor boy.
Yeah.
Poor boy.
I mean, he never learns. He just keeps approaching random girls on the street with odd lighting.
That's so creepy
Yep.
when you think about it, too. Hey, what are you kids doing over there in the corner? Oh my god.
I always laugh when he's like, "You want me to arrest you?" It's like, what kind of fucking line is that? Anyway, Dominic, it sounded like you had something to say.
Did it? I didn't say anything.
Yeah, you started saying something, and then
When?
right when I said, "Is there anything else about characters you want to say?" I saw your little bubble light up. I thought
That
you
was
might
probably
have a thought.
background noise because I didn't move my mouth.
Fine.
I guess if I have to say something though, Kotaro was really good. I don't know why there's like this kind of thing. I loved him from the beginning. I thought he was fucking hilarious.
Yeah?
I liked him from the beginning, to be honest.
Did he sell the show for you?
I mean, when the show first started, he was the selling point. I was like, I'm gonna watch this for Miyano Mamoru.
Here's my question, though.
I don't know about you guys.
Kotaro voiced by anybody else, do you think you'd still love him as much?
No.
That depends on their performance. I mean, I know Craig said the dub version is good. I probably wouldn't like the dub version nearly as much, but
I'm the only one here that would dig the dub.
I think my issue with Kotaro is that before, like, the middle to the end of the series, like, all he did was yell at them.
That's great!
That's
exactly what I want.
And at first it was funny, but then I'm like, they're human beings, dude. I don't know. I just kind of thought that I'm gonna yell at you until you listen to me, like, attitude wasn't that something positive for me.
Loud
but
noises!
Then,
That's fair!
But then as the show went on, you found out that he's just an awkward child who doesn't know how to really express himself very well, so he yells a lot. And you know what? I accept him as the big man baby he is. It took some time, okay?
Fucking man baby.
It took some time, but I came around.
I also just want to give a quick shout out to the good doggo Romero.
Yeah.
Romero's great.
The good zombie doggo.
He's a good zombie doggo.
He was indeed. I liked how he had many different forms, which we could totally talk about in the production side of things.
Okay.
On it.
Like we said before, this was animated and produced by Studio MAPPA that is known for doing some pretty crazy visual shit. And I think that that's also evident in Zombie Land Saga. There were a lot of really nice moments that were really cleanly animated. And then there were moments of CGI dancing that were purposely, I think, there just to piss me off. So
Yeah, I remember
let's all
you
have
vividly hating that every fucking time
I
it
don't-
happened.
that-
Okay,
That's the worst.
okay.
I'll go.
There was a time
okay, you
when
go.
Okay, and it might be the same thing we're trying to say, but there was a moment when we were watching, there was a situation where multiple dancers and singers were going on stage, and they 2D animated one of the performances. And I looked at Dominic and I was like, I swear to God, if they do it, I swear to God. And then Fran Shushu got on and it went all into CGI. And I was like, fuck! And I got really mad.
That wasn't what I was gonna bring up, but I just thought it was like really, really annoying how like the the CG stuff was like choppy, 10 frames per second, just like, I guess maybe not the worst, but it was like, come on. There's no
like they did it on
reason why it
purpose.
has to be this bad. I get it has to be. Because there's no reason
know
it had
if
to be
that's
that
the joke.
slow and choppy, and yeah, maybe it is. I don't know.
Maybe it's
because-
a stab at love life.
I'm
It would be a stab at all CGI performances and idol anime. But the thing is that, like, the joke only works one time.
Yeah.
After that, it just looks shitty. And
Fair
like
enough.
Dominic said, it's not even good. I've seen good CGI dancing. I watch Precure EDs.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible to dance in CG and still look clean. Oh my god, Mappa, you could do better. That's why I feel like they're trolling.
Preach, girl.
I'm probably the only one that thought it was fine for what it did,
Oh.
but
Get
Yeah.
and I cringed every time, like real bad.
It was bad CGI. It was literally bad.
It was
CGI.
bad.
eh.
It was bad. Like, undeniably bad.
Which sucks because the rest of the show is actually really pretty to look at. They had some really cool. I remember in the first episode where Sakura was seeing herself in a mirror as a zombie for the first time, and the camera kind of warps a bit as she's looking up. But yeah, that scene when she first realizes she's a zombie is like so creepily animated, and so much detail is put into every single thing that happens in that one itty bitty scene. And that happens throughout the show. There's these moments where they're like, we need to allocate our budget here. And everything just looks so good. And even when things are just kind of like the usual, it still looks good. The character designs are very different from what I'm used to.
Mm-hmm.
And I just enjoyed everything I looked at. And then this fucking CGI performance would be in front of my face. And that just made it taste all that much worse.
Yeah, it often like broke immersion too. Like there were some concert scenes that were very like relevant to what happened in the episode and had emotional weight, and then it's like you're just kind of slightly stepping back because you're like, whoa, look at that there. Aw, man. So yeah, I think sometimes it broke immersion, and that was kind of a bummer for me.
For sure.
Yeah, it just sucks, especially, like, the thing is like the first time they do it, like, when they're doing that Gorilla Live,
Mm-hmm.
it's, like, kind of, like, okay, like, this is kind of gross looking, but they're, like, it's, like, a sloppy performance, they're doing, it's kind of, like,
Yeah.
okay, I get it. But then, like, they do it, like it happens every time they do a performance, even during, like, the performances that are meant to be taken, like, super seriously,
Mm-hmm.
and it just, like, when you have this incredibly choppy like CG dance routine going on, it's like I can't get super invested in what this is supposed to be, like, conveying when it looks that shoddy, I guess. I don't know.
I think that you have a really good point there, because I remember the last episode. I was so emotionally tuned in And
Yeah.
then, like, because of the smoke and the stuff that fell, without going into spoilers, it looked even choppier than usual because there's more effects on the screen. And it was like looking at blurs. It was just gross. Which pisses me off because that's, like, basically the last scene in the whole show. But it was so powerful, and the song was so good, but the fucking characters dancing looked like dog shit. Ugh. Makes me mad.
Maybe it wasn't a joke. Maybe it's because they spent all their money on the bombastically amazing opening for the show.
Oh my god. You know what? I was going to try and use a transition for their sound direction because the show looks, like, the opening looks so fucking amazing, but the sound coordination in that opening, too, is so ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, all the sound effects.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I feel like it's funny because this is gonna come up in, like, fucking, like, AMQ one day, and I'm gonna be like, is this a Gundam opening? Because of all the shing and that's going on, and it's be like, no, that's Zombie Land Saga.
I think my favorite was the sound of, John just mentioned his name, but the sound of the dog biting. Like, just taking a big old bite. Yeah. Yeah.
There's so much visually going on in that opening, too. It's just such style, like, just oozing out of your screen.
It like hints at them recording a, like, Super Sentai episode.
Yeah.
They even parodied the Super Sentai in there, so...
There's Super Sentai. Some of the first shots of, like, Sakura creeping around on walls has like a very like B-movie zombie horror film aesthetic to them, which is also just lots of fun.
And also waking up in a full bathtub.
Yeah, there's just so much cool random stylized stuff that doesn't need to be there, but it is, and it just comes together as this magnificent mismatch of just so many cool things, and it was a joy to watch every time.
Also, all the dancing zombies, along with Cortana.
You guys,
I didn't notice this until, like, the last couple episodes, but the opening, like, when the zombies are dancing, they have, like, this gross, like, zombie moving sound as they're doing. Oh,
ew! What?
Yeah.
There's actually,
like, I didn't notice
noise.
this at all. Yeah, the girls do it too, but, like, for the opening, I don't know if it was just because I wasn't paying attention before, but, like, yeah, I eventually noticed in the last couple episodes when the zombies are, like, moving and stuff, you can sometimes hear, like, the gross, like, rotting flesh moving sound. It's disgusting.
I think as the series went on, they added more audio cues to the opening, because I didn't notice that until the last few episodes as well, and I swear there are other noises that, like, got added in, because, like, there was footsteps that I swear I only heard in the last episode. As they're start walking down the corridor, you can hear their footsteps, and I swear I never noticed that in any of the other episodes.
Yes, yeah, I think that might have been the last episode or added later. Another thing that was honestly really cool that was in it every time is I actually really do like the beginning, like, just spoken word by Sakura to, like, hype you up about how, like, they are Saga or whatever. It's good.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to know the production facts of the show?
Craig's Credit Corner!
Director is Munehisa Sakai, directed Precure and One Piece Strong World. The writer...
Which Precure?
Sweet Precure.
Like, the actual director, or...?
Series director, yeah.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. The series composition is Shigeru Murakoshi, series composition for Cass's show this summer, To the Abandoned Sacred Beasts. The music composer also worked on Sweet Precure, Heartcatch Precure, Naruto, and Fairy Tail. So there you go.
Oh, wow.
That's
What was their name?
Oh, sorry. I didn't actually write that down. Hold on. Let me double back and check.
He's good. He is good. He's probably my favorite Precure composer. I forget his name, but he's good.
The music director, Yasuhara Takanashi.
Yep.
I just happened to be on the page.
Yep.
There we go. Cool.
So
That is neat.
So there you
The
go.
music in the show was pretty damn good. Like the opening and ending were great, but like also a lot of the music that played during scenes was very well incorporated.
Mhm.
I think that just the sound direction in general in the show is just really, really good. They had a lot of fun playing with music and sounds, and the voice actors definitely had a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just very stimulating to the ears to watch Zombie Land Saga.
Yeah, I feel like there were just so many, like, while the show was airing in our podcast, like, in our friend group, there were just so many, like, silly dialogue things that we would meme. Like, a lot of us would just randomly spout out Kotaro quotes or something, or sing,
Nice
like,
bird.
That's bird.
see?
Music, come on.
Music, come on! Yes.
Music.
Come on! Oh, man. Yeah, just stuff like that. It really, it left its mark. That was definitely a very memorable part of the show. It's so quotable, and you wouldn't really consider that, but that's a quality of
Right.
it.
I also just remembered a video clip of Mamoru Miyano dressed up as Kotaro, and going through each of the characters, announcing who their voice actors are, and then getting to Yamada Tai and just saying the legendary son,
Yeah.
because they still hadn't announced who it was.
That's good.
All the voice acting, I thought was very, very good.
Yep.
Craig, I think you already mentioned Saki's voice actress, but just
Yeah.
she did really well with having the rolling R, the like "Rah!" whenever she spoke, and
Yeah.
it was lots of fun.
I recommend this dub and sub, but yeah.
So I think, honestly, visually and sound-wise, like, the show was really good. The only production thing that I really can complain about, and actually complain about, it's not a nitpick, it's just literally, as Cammy said, broke the immersion, was the CGI.
Mm.
But if bad CG and only being in some of your scenes is your only problem, I think that you're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
If anything, while it was stiff as fuck, I was fine with it, mostly because I kinda admit I'm garbage, and also really like the Idol songs, and I thought they were fine, despite only having
To be fair,
really 3 or 4 songs.
I
liked the Idol songs too.
Yeah.
I liked when they were exploring other genres.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
what I was saying. The music is solid. Like, the songs they sang almost always were apt for the moment too, if you read the lyrics.
Yeah.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
So, like, I enjoyed the Idol music. I'm just saying I'm sad that that's all that it became was Idol
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
I wish that they had done other genres.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You're not garbage. It was good music.
Yeah. Of the Idol songs, I definitely think Lily's and Saki's were my favorites. Like, they're kind of solo-led pieces.
That I can agree.
Yep.
Sakura's last song fucked me up.
Aw.
But that's just me. But I loved all the others as well. Lily's song was probably the one that fucked me up the most.
Those lyrics just...
Those lyrics just, they take a knife and they stab it right in there, and then they're like, "Oh, you haven't had enough, baby," and then they twist it.
That's intense.
But no, Craig, I don't think you're garbage at all. The music in the show was good.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any final thoughts on production before we move on to final thoughts and ratings?
No.
Nope.
No. No. No.
No.
I'm just going to...
No.
I was gonna say, I guess...
No.
You guys are starting to sound like mating calls. Or
Hey, I thought we sounded like an idol group. I thought we were making our own
No.
Annie Chatbox idol group right now.
No.
Anyway, moving on to final thoughts and ratings. Craig, why don't you give us your thoughts first?
Short and sweet to the point. I like this show. I liked the idol aspect of it. I like the character-centric episodes. There are episodes that are hashtag deep, hashtag progressive, cute girls doing zombie-like things, Mamoru Miyano is really fucking funny. He is literally, the character is modeled after Mamoru Miyano. Good on him for that. MAPPA, will you do a season 2? Who knows? There's my thoughts.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dominic, what about you?
I like the show.
Cool!
That it?
Yeah, it was fun to watch. It was pretty visually enjoyable. There was good music. It was entertaining. I wasn't like in love with it. I'm not gonna be like, oh, Zombie Land is one of my favorite shows, but I liked it. I had fun. I don't really have any like huge major qualms that I can throw at it, but yeah, so I liked it. I give it a like.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. You gave it a like it.
Gave it a like it.
Cammy, how about you?
Okay. Every time that I end up going after Dominic, I'm just like, darn it, because whenever my opinion aligns to theirs, like I just like the words were perfectly worded and taken right out of my mouth. I also
you can't say that after I was just like, I like it.
But I do like it. I like it. It was fun to watch during the season. It's not really one that, like, I'm really going to go back and be like, oh man, Zombie Land Saga, but it was fun, and it was good, and it has a lot of, like, quotable things. So yeah, it gets a good grade. And Dominic said it way better than I did.
I mean, okay, fair.
You know what's even worse than going after Dominic?
What?
Going after Dominic and then going after Cammy. Because that's my turn! Oh yeah, baby! I also am going to give the show a like it. I think that while it does have its low moments, like the broken CGI, where I think they were trying to make something look good, but something just didn't work halfway through, and they were like, yeah, ship it out anyway. Outside of that, I think that visually and sound-wise and production-wise overall, this is just a very well put together basket of cookies that your grandma sent in the mail. They're so yummy, and every bite's just like, oh yeah, look, we got something new. This one's got raisins in it. This one's got some chocolate chips. It's all very different, but everything in there's good. That's Zombie Land Saga. It's
wow.
good.
With the different idols, that's actually a very perfect metaphor. You are it today.
Now I want
I like
cookies.
to think that Sakura's like a sugar cookie that's very basic, but your grandma put like really intricate, like nice looking, cute, like frosting on top for when you get to her backstory. I'm gonna go make cookies for each girl. Anyway, the show's really good. I liked it. It's definitely unique, and it really stands apart. And honestly, we forgot to mention this is an original work, I think.
Yeah.
And for an original work that only had 12 episodes to tell its story, it could have ended up a lot worse.
Yeah.
So I applaud them for being one of those studios that's willing to go and make an original work in I guess in an environment that doesn't necessarily encourage original work. So good on you, MAPPA. I liked this one. It was good. And to wrap us out, the person who actually passed this show for review, John, who also has a recommendation shortly after that for us.
Yeah, so as I've said a number of times already, I signed up for this because I just had this itch for a zombie survival anime, and Zombie Land Saga. That sounds like a zombie survival anime. What's the synopsis? Don't know yet. It did not scratch my zombie survival anime itch. But it was something very enjoyable in the end. Something that really did make me laugh, and something I did enjoy the entire time that I was watching it. So yeah, I'm gonna just echo what everyone has already said and give it a like it. Was it perfect? No, but it did a lot of good things, regardless. Probably not likely to rewatch it anytime soon, but they kind of hinted that there might be a season 2. I don't know. At least the ending kind of had a bit of a cliffhanger to it. So, season 2, please. Yes, please. I would like a season 2. But if not, it was still good. So, yeah, I liked it. Yeah, as for a recommendation, we have Korewa Zombie Desu ka, or Is This a Zombie? Another zombie comedy anime. Not an idle one though. But another one that also kind of has a lot of different genre of characters involved. Like you've got a ninja, a magical girl, a zombie, and I'm blanking on the other 2 characters, but it was still a very funny comedy series involving zombies that just kind of has some very zany humor going on, and so give it a shot. You might find something you like, although it's a bit more fan servicey. I will give that warning. Whereas Zombie Land Saga is not fan servicey at all, to be honest. Yeah.
There is some pretty cringy humor in Korewa Zombie Desu ka.
Yeah.
Especially like looking back from when I watched it initially and then looking back at it now. There are some things that I find questionable and in bad taste, but for the most part, it's a fun little ride. So if you enjoyed Zombie Land Saga, you might enjoy Korewa Zombie Desu ka.
Right on.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for your thoughts and feelings on Zombie Land Saga. And let's move on to the fun part, the most fun part of our reviews / episodes, and that is our social links. So if you'd like to get in contact with us, we do have a Twitter, twitter.com/AnnieChatbox, where you can find out information about the episodes coming out, what we're doing on Patreon. Dominic takes care of that for us, and they've even gone so far as to occasionally make some funny little comments about currently airing anime. I hope they continue to do that. But if you'd like to see what Dominic is up to after we've given them so much power, you can do so at twitter.com/AnnieChatbox. And you can also talk to us in short form there if you do so wish. If you'd like to talk to us in long form or short form, but just to us directly, you can do so at anniechatmail@gmail.com. A little bit more private than Twitter, but we'll still read it on the air, so a little less than you think. But again, that's anniechatmail@gmail.com if you'd like to reach us via email. If you're listening to us on one thing, there's many other places you can listen. We are on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, SoundCloud, and or YouTube. Listen to us at all of those places at once, or whichever one meets your fancy the most. I do not care. And last but not least, we have our Patreon, which is at patreon.com/AnnieChatbox. We want to shout out our patrons right now: Sarah, CorpsyAnn, Carol, Suki, Paul, and our newest patron, TroubleClef. Yes. Those are our patrons that we love so much and so dearly. Thank you guys so much. We finally got everybody mics, as we mentioned before, and I think we're in the works of trying to figure out how to make a website with some of the funds we have now. So stay tuned on that. Hopefully we'll have some news on that in the coming year. Otherwise, we will find a good way to use your funds. So thank you guys so much for helping us keep the lights on. If you love listening to Craig, and sometimes Cammie, me, and Dominic, and maybe John in the future, who knows? We all kind of moonlight over at Save Our Progress. You can listen to their stuff at soundcloud.com/saveourprogress. They recently did a review of one of my favorite Ghibli films, Kiki's Delivery Service.
Yeah.
So if you want to hear what they have to say about that, go on over. I think they're also going to be giving their own thoughts on seasonal anime in the coming weeks. So if you haven't been weebed out enough, you can go
poor
elsewhere.
Bastards.
Poor bastards.
I really don't know why we haven't given you enough. What more do you want from us? Are you not entertained?
Damn,
Clearly
call
not.
outs.
But no, for real, they have a really nice podcast over there, and you should totally check them out at soundcloud.com/saveourprogress. And if you've listened to this point, we are going to go into a short but sweet spoiler room. So if you don't want to be spoiled on the beautiful Zombie Land Saga, go and watch it. We've all given it our full recommendation. We liked it a lot. You should watch it. Just there you go. Now get out. Now, if you've seen Zombie Land Saga and you want to stick around even longer to hear what we thought about the in-depth details, then let's settle into our imaginary chairs and talk about spoilers. What do you got, Craig? You're the one who wanted us to be here.
Yeah, Craig. Out with it, Craig.
What's the beef you got hiding, friend?
Basically, to reiterate, Lily's episode was the best episode in the entire show. Her dad literally fucking scratching his face to the point it bled and gave him scars. Actually, legit gave me goosebumps. And then he threw his TV into the fucking wall. I was like, damn, that's really fucking good. That's all I got, really.
Yeah, that episode really highlighted not only, like, the pain of losing a child as a parent, but the pain of losing a child and not really being able to understand why they died, and not, you knowing that you didn't give them the support that they needed that led to their death is just really deep and sad.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, actually, I'm not trying to undermine this when I say this, but, like, all of the deaths are kind of sad when you think about it.
They are.
Kasaki's is also sad. The mom punches her straight in the face, and I'm just like, wow, that's also kind of fucked up.
All of the deaths they covered, with the exception of, I guess, Sakura's, which is less sad and more empowering, I suppose. Most of them were, well, they were also empowering, but they were the ones that actually brought some tears to my eyes, you know? Like Lily's episode, Saki's episode, even Ai and Junko's situations. Like, the way Ai died is just fucking terrifying.
Did you relate to Junko?
I found Junko very relatable. I also thought that she was the best singer in the group. I love when she sang. And for the longest time, I thought that I loved her the most aesthetically as well. I just really found Sakura relatable in the last couple episodes. But, yeah, Lily's episode hits like a fucking gut punch. Because there's a lot to unpack, and they do it really well in one episode.
And I feel like using the resurrected idol as a vehicle for, transferring, like, feelings that you couldn't convey in your life through song, like, it just hit so well in that episode. Like, it made sense why she, why this happened to her, and it's good that she is here now, and what she was able to deliver was just very powerful, and it was such a good resolve for the two of them.
Big sad man.
Big sad. Big sad man.
Actual big sad man, yes, there was one.
He's a giant.
There was a big sad man in the audience.
He is a giant.
I guess one other spoiler we can touch on that I guess some people found problematic, but I actually kind of liked it, was we got this, like, small, like, 3-4 second flashback to the fact that Kotaro knew Sakura when they were in school.
I think he was, like, a classmate or something.
Yeah, they were a classmate who, it was, like, implied they, like, lent her a CD or something. But a lot of people are like, oh no, now they're, like, involving, like, romance, or, oh man, this was only here for a few seconds, they didn't flesh this out at all, I'm in the meantime like, no, like, I personally liked that we didn't need that fleshed out. It just was a small nod to the fact this is why she's here.
Yeah, because
otherwise...
this is
why he's been pushing her so hard throughout the show. But we don't need anything else, and I don't think there's anything inherently romantic shown there either.
Not really.
Honestly, I would even go so far as to say they could have completely omitted that bit, and it still would have worked all the same. But I
don't think they needed to omit it, though. Because, that's the thing. Like,
Oh, keep going.
No, go ahead. I was going to say it was an integral part of understanding why Kotaro was being so pushy with her in the last couple of episodes.
Yeah, I think
it's necessary.
It basically enforces his, motivations as a character, even though it's like, like he's the comic relief for the most part, but it's good to have just that slight glimpse as to why he's doing what he's doing besides just, I want to say Saga.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it also does answer the question of, like, okay, so
Why her?
he's resurrected all these legendary people, and then Sakura, just an average schoolgirl that tragically died before she could achieve anything, so
Yeah.
what was
I
her
like-
so special?
yeah.
So.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was sweet, and I think it's also a good message in for, as down as Sakura like thinks about herself, how little she thinks about herself. It's the point is like in her lifetime there was somebody that she touched and she affected.
Yeah.
And that's a really good message to kind of pull out and then end with her resolve to persist anyway.
Yeah.
It also adds to the whole bit where because we're given so many of her failures.
Yeah.
And honestly, I was just like, oh, girl. Oh, you poor tragic child. Because she just has the worst luck in the world. And we know through that little moment with Kotaro that at least somebody saw what she was trying to do and experienced her failure with her. And I think that is important and valuable. And I honestly would be a little frustrated if they omitted that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I also agree.
Yeah, I know that's a big point of contention with some people, but I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I also thought their final performance was really powerful, but it was also in all full CGI, so.
You win some, you lose some.
It was really funny, too, because I was cooking dinner a couple days ago. I was cooking steak bites, and I was like, it's kind of frustrating they ended it on a cliffhanger. And Dominic was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, they ended it on the cliffhanger with the photos and the reporter guy.
Yeah.
And Dominic was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, it's right after the end card. And Dominic was like, oh, I just saw the end card and closed.
Yeah, I saw the end card, was like, oh, okay, I'm done, I'm on my way home, I'm just gonna end this. I guess it was like a 5, and I only saw that there was only maybe a couple seconds left in the episode, so I was like, surely there was nothing that I'm missing. But
I mean, it was only a couple of seconds, but it was
Yeah.
just the reporter dude laying pictures down of when they were alive and then from their performances, and he's just like, I just can't figure this out, and then it cuts off.
It couldn't be. To the point where I'm
So-
like, why they left it off, and I'm like, man, I don't know the profitability of this show. Usually shows get greenlit sooner, but I'm not exactly sure when this will get a season
it was
2.
advertised quite a lot.
Yeah.
There was a lot, at least from what I saw on Twitter and stuff, there was a lot of advertisements and things that went into promoting the show.
Yeah, a lot of Crunchyroll
Whether
stuff.
it actually succeeded, I do not know.
Yeah.
I just know that on the Japanese side of things, I saw a lot of promotion. So.
Yeah, it was very heavily promoted, and which is interesting considering how secretive it was as well.
I mean, that in a way that also adds to the promotion. It
Yeah.
adds intrigue
Um,
to the secret weird zombie project. What could they be doing?
But yeah, I actually kind of would like to see season 2 of this, because that end credit, that after credit scene was so intriguing and dun 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 about it.
Just give us more
Yeah,
Courtesan Lady. Just give me more Courtesan Lady.
I mean, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Or who knows, maybe it'll be like Panty and Stocking, where it jokingly had a cliffhanger in the last couple of seconds, and we're never going to
God damn it.
Never touched on.
God damn it.
That was fun.
Gross.
Yeah, I didn't mind the ending. There's plenty of shows that set up cliffhangers for next season. And also it was after the end card. So it's obviously something that's just clipped on to possibly cause intrigue or just troll the fans.
There is
Yeah.
also that. Yeah, it might just be there to troll the fans.
Yeah,
Oh man, they're setting up for a season 2 coming. Never!
I'd enjoy a season 2, but I also don't feel like I need one per se.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like if they have a season 2, it'll be like more of the same.
Yeah,
Mhm.
also that.
Yeah.
They might take some more time to like flesh out some of the characters, but I feel like it would just be like, if we're gonna do that, maybe I should just go and rewatch the first season. Like, what's the point? But then
Yeah.
again, I thought the same thing about Hibike Euphonium, so
Oh.
And
Yeah, that got something.
damn.
But yeah. Any other spoilers you guys want to talk about before we roll on out of here?
Oh.
Nope.
I didn't have anything.
No, I can't think of anything else either, so.
Well, that was sweet and to the point. I guess we'll be getting out of here. So thank you so much for joining us for episode 119?
Yep.
Yes, 119 of the Annie Chat Box. We will be seeing you hopefully soon if you did stay, and next week will be fun because we're going to be looking into our hot, steamy summer picks. So stay tuned for that. We're very excited. But until next time, have a good time, have a good night, have a good afterlife, and we'll see you next time.
Oi.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Nice to me.
Music, come on.
Oh.
Nice bird.
That's fair.